Okay, welcome back, everybody, to the Enemy Within campaign. A couple of notes about this session in particular. That things are potentially going to be there's going to be maybe a few little growing pains for this session as we have migrated onto a new system. We are now on Foundry. I bought all the little things, all the fun little doodads that let me roll on this system because I've been enjoying it so much as a player. I just find it infinitely better than Roll20, and it actually provides me a lot of tools as a GM. I'm still learning how to use them all properly, but to me it is a notable quality of life improvement. But we may run into little issues here and there, so please, be patient with us, but I'm really excited to be using this system, and hopefully it's going to make playing through the rest of the campaign significantly smoother. Real quick, let's do just the briefest of sound checks. Just kind of go down the list and ask how everybody's day is and just talk for a second. That way we can make sure that you all sound good. Ben, how are you? How's life?
I am acceptable.
Cool.
And everything's working out.
That's good. that's good. Anticity, how are you? How's life?
Doing good. Organizing my room. Moved a bunch of furniture. It was fun.
That's good. I saw Team Bretonia is absolutely curb stomping at the moment in the
yes.
community event.
Let's go.
Hawk, how's life?
Good. Moving this weekend fully. Luckily, it's just 2 miles down the road. And I'm completely unbiased in War of the Wilds, but go Beastman.
Whoop, I just did something I shouldn't have done. And Hurls, I know you're not doing the best, but outside of that...
Outside of that, I am also adequate. I am as good as I can be, given the situation.
Okay, so before we get into it, I need to roll a D4.
Good sign.
Ben, can you roll me a challenging endurance check?
Of course, the elf has to do the endurance check.
I'm tempted to say no.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Can everyone now roll me a average perception check?
Average.
How do I
Is
make
this
that?
for
How do
sight?
yes, sight will help. So if you have acute sense sight, you will get your bonus.
Hey, not bad.
Let's go.
All right, plenty of good rolls. Now trust me, you'll see where this is going in a minute. But first of all, how do I make the game resume? That game paused annoys the sin out of me.
If you press spacebar, it should be the default
Delicious,
setting
thank you.
on pause.
All right, so what I need you to do now, Ben, is would you do me a very quick little solid, and would you just refresh us all by reminding us Dorathangel's appearance?
So, Dorathandrel is wearing some nice quality clothing that has a cloak whose about 4 inches of the hem has been ripped off very inelegantly. There is a giant cut mark across his chest in his nice fine cloak, or in his nice fine vest, and he is, in general, a dandy in despair.
So, as the four of you are talking...
Blue dark greens are the main colors of his outfit.
Oh, sorry.
You can
Had to
just
sit up there.
open the character viewer.
Yes. So, as you all have been making your way away from Altdorf, and you've been leaving the city behind and moving on to greener pastures. Roughly, probably like, you're not sure when it happened. Nobody knows when it happened. It just sort of happened. But for some reason, you all didn't notice it until you were probably about a day's out of Weissbruck. But for those of you that rolled exceptionally high, so most notably Astaroth, actually, Astaroth, you kind of, as Dorthandrel's just kind of helping around the Bear Belly and doing little works here and there to assist with running the barge, helping out Yosef and the other crew. You kind of catch a glimpse at his chest, and you notice that the scar that he had from when his chest got cut very badly from that mutant back in the Reichwald is completely gone.
Huh. And so I'll approach Dorthandrel as working and say, "Oi, look at your chest. Did you notice that the scar was gone? Is that an elf thing? Do you guys just heal abnormally fast and well compared to other species?"
That is the case. Dorthander will finger the scar, because it's been not even a week.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, there is no scar to like finger. It's not even that it healed particularly well. It's just gone. Like you were never cut in the first place.
Well, I must say, perhaps your human doctors are not as bad as they seem to be.
Suppose not. I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
Well,
Peculiar.
I'm sure.
Do you feel the same? Do you feel any different?
No, everything feels, as far as you're concerned, Dorthandrel, literally nothing has changed. It's gone, like it was a weird dream or a hallucination.
Dorthandel's just gonna look around, finger the gap in his outfit. Well, it is nice, but he'll go and sit down by the railing and just kind of look out at the water and contemplate what's going on. Any signs of residue of the winds of magic about?
Roll me a very hard perception check. Wow, you passed that with a minus 30?
Yep. And then detect magic and acute sense sight.
You definitely sense like the very lingering traces of some kind of magic about your person, particularly centered around your chest. Whatever happened was definitely magical in nature.
Perhaps that doctor was not who she said she was.
No, I would have noticed that. Ah. But Dorthal's going to look towards Altdorf and frown. Your empire is very peculiar.
I suppose it would seem that way to someone who wasn't raised in it. But, I mean, if you don't believe it was the doctor, perhaps, being in Altdorf, Sigmar admired you some way. Perhaps it is a blessing of Sigma.
Or, as he looks at the other boats yelling at the Bear Belly, some wandering wizard of Gyran. He will say with complete disbelief.
Yeah, that's a reasonable response. But nothing else seems to happen or come of it. In any event, y'all continue to make your way down the Weissbruck canal without any serious issues. You do, of course, as we said at the end of last session, you arrive near the end of that particular this particular route on the Weissbruck, and you arrive where it meets up with the River Bogen, because you came down this route from Altdorf specifically, and now you're merging into the larger river of the Bogen. And as you do so, you pass through the last of the locks, luckily without having to pay any further tolls, because you already paid for the toll on the Altdorf side of things. And as you come through, you arrive in the growing town of Weissbruck, which I do this. Yes, good. So, you can see the Bear Belly is over here.
All I see is black.
All
Yeah,
you see is black.
I see the
Black
names
and the
of
names.
locations, but I don't see any map.
Alright, I'm going to turn off token vision and fog exploration.
Yep,
Yeah,
there
great.
is.
Yeah.
We
Let's
do
Let's
not.
go.
We will not need that for a while. Not in this session or the next session or probably the session after that. Maybe the one after that. So welcome to Weissbruck. As you're pulling in, it's a bit of a sleepy little city. While it is, like, as you're pulling in, you can tell that it is swiftly growing. There is constant construction, like the sounds of hammers and sawing and people yelling at one another and work. And there's ships kind of coming in and out. But it is getting towards the end of the day, and things are starting to die down. And Yosef calls out from the wheel that he has, his little, whatever you call it, and he says, "All right, we're stopping here for the night. I assume there's no objections."
No, sounds good to me.
None here.
Good. Bogen saw us well. He takes out another vegetable from one of his pockets and tosses it in the water behind him as y'all are pulling into the docks at in Weissbruck. As he kind of gets pulled up, he does shout he says, "Lenny!
Yep.
Tie us up!"
I will get going.
Yeah, you can roll a easy sailing check.
Uh-huh. Let's see here. Not the Sail Wolf ship, right?
No, just regular sail.
I move regular sail onto this?
If not, just go ahead and roll the wolf ship. It's fine. It's only going to be a few percentage points difference anyway.
Alright.
If you take the skill that I just put in chat and drag it to your character sheet, it should put a sail untrained.
Sick.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
that is what you will roll.
Uh-huh. Challenging?
No, easy.
Easy. I'm amazing.
Awesome. You do a phenomenal job. You've done this dozens of times. You effortlessly leap off the Bear Belly as it's still moving onto the dock and immediately begin tying ropes and securing it so that it's able to just very smoothly drift to a stop by the wood without bumping, and it's like almost perfectly flush It's a brilliant job, a master's effort of tying a boat.
Job's done. I'm gonna head to the inn early. I'll see you guys there. No. Hop on
Are you
the
not
ship.
going to
Have
sleep
you-
on the ship, Lenny?
Has Yosef paid you recently?
I don't think so.
I think we were gonna wait till this session since everyone's here.
Yes. So he does go ahead and pay you for the work you've done so far. So I believe y'all have been working for him for 3 days so far. So just because he knows that everyone is potentially going to run off into Weissbruck itself, he goes, "Here, take some coin with you," and he gives each of you, I believe it should be 6 silver.
Thank you very much. And Astaroth, I'm not sleeping at the inn. We're celebrating.
Ah, okay. Then I shall join you. I'm always down
Going?
for a pint.
Going through the canal is a celebration.
Every day is a
yes.
celebration. To
Never
life.
know, you never know what foul evils lurk outside the boundaries of the river at any location of the Empire. The constant battle of will you make it to the next location or will you die in the river? Beastmen, raiders.
Yosef nods and says, "Or mermen. You know, I've been attacked by mermen before. It's a blessing that we didn't have 20 of them trying to swarm onto the deck to eat us alive."
A merman? I've never heard of such a thing. What is a merman?
It's like a man that lives under the river. Slimy things, smell terrible.
Like fish people?
Aye, something like that.
Ah, sounds horrifying.
Deep down, you feel that you're a little suspicious of this particular
Claim.
thread that he's spinning, but who can say
Is
for
that
sure?
what the vegetables are for? Are you bribing them?
No, the vegetables are for Bogen, the god of the river. It's always good to keep him happy for safe passage. Don't want to accidentally run into a rocks or wake up a river troll.
A turnip a day keeps the bogan away, I suppose.
I don't believe that's the official saying, but it's a similar principle.
And he prefers vegetables.
Yes, Bogenauer is always excited. That's the way to make proper offerings to him. At least so say his priests. But if you're sailing his river, it's best to keep him happy.
Suppose this would be true. But come, it's time to drink. Lenny, do you happen to know where the best location here to drink is? Have you ever been here before?
Absolutely none.
No.
I was just gonna find the closest place that sold anything.
The closest one, as you're quite literally getting off the Bear Belly, one of the large buildings that you see just in front of you as you're entering into the city. It's like painfully obvious that it's an inn, and it has a sign of what looked to be some kind of I forget. Lenny, can you read?
I don't think so.
Okay, so for Lenny, you see a sign that looks like it has what are some kind of metal bars, maybe iron or gold or something, that's been completely drawn in black. It's been like filled in to make them very dark in appearance on the sign. And you can tell it's an inn by the way the sign is, and you see people like around it and the lights, and it looks like an inn, the way you've come to identify those kinds of structures. There's squiggles around it to identify what the name of it is, but you can't read, so whatever, it's an inn.
Cool. Let's see here. Who's tagging along?
Astaroth is. I'll shout over to Sigmund. Sigmund! Shall I buy you a pint?
At least one.
Haha! And Dothandro, I know
Squire.
that's third to you, and I nudge you. I'll look at you and say, if you ever call me sir, I will hit you with a bottle of wine.
Oh, is you Joel just threatened to hit me this time?
Dorthandrel, are you coming? I know the drink they have to offer here probably won't satisfy what you desire, but would you like to come just for the companionship?
I will come to marvel at the existence of this ramp, and he will gesture towards the gangplank that has survived.
The one that's all that has like the right side of it all chipped and torn from where it scratched against another boat. So Dorthandrel, you're staying behind?
Dorthandrel's heading out with them.
Oh, okay. All right. So y'all managed to maneuver the gangplank into place. There's no issues with that. And you all head out to the Black Gold Inn. For those of you that can read, are able to identify it. And you make your way over to the inn building. You're passing by throngs of people. This place is clearly bustling. Most of the folk that you see are dock workers and other people that are likely passing through. You see a lot of what you can quite reliably identify as merchants haggling with one another and discussing matters in the docks, as it is quite a busy atmosphere here. It seems that there is a lot of activity going on in Weissbruck these days, and a lot of merchants seem to be drawn here to engage in various exchanges, looking for certain kinds of supplies and who knows what. But in any event, you're able to push your way over to the inn without too much trouble. But as the four of you are going through the crowd, and you finally get the entrance of the Black Gold Inn in sight, it's still like a good, it's still like a very solid, like 100 yards, the actual door from you. There's a man standing in the entrance of the Black Gold Inn, and he's leaning up against the beam that supports the opening portal, and he locks eyes with you, Sigmund. Like, as people are kind of passing in front of you, there's a space in the people where you see him looking directly at you, and you are immediately able to tell that he is watching you specifically. And he is covered head to toe in black leather. Well, not his head, I should say, but the rest of his body is covered in black leather. In fact, I'll even put up a picture of him for you. So you see, here we go. And then if I want to show you his picture, oh God, how do I do that?
Top right is the eyeball.
I do not see an eyeball in the top right. I see configure token.
Okay, so there's show character artwork.
Ah, thank you.
Review character artwork. Pull that up, and then
Got
you
it.
can.
So you see this man. And the other thing you notice about him is the large crossbow he has slung over his back. And he seems to have, like, the other three of you notice as well that his eyes are focused very much on the group of you. And you're not sure how long he's been watching you, but the moment he realizes that you realize that he's watching you, you see him immediately turn around and head into the inn.
Oh. Is he a friend of yours?
Not
Oh,
that
I don't think I've ever seen him before. Seemed to recognize you, Sigmund.
Indeed he did.
Went
Or
into
maybe-
the inn, shall we buy him a pint?
Maybe he
smile
recognizes my body double we met on the road.
Oh.
Sorry, come again? Body double? Have you told me this story?
Nope.
No, I don't think so. But at some point on our journey, we were attacked by a group of mutants, and one of the victims of the mutants And I am not kidding you in any exaggeration.
Are y'all gonna have this discussion while you're just walking through crowds, or are you gonna grab a drink first?
I guess as we're walking in, I mean, we're gonna
continue.
And Lenny, I mean this sincerely. I'm not exaggerating in any way, shape, or form. One of the corpses looked exactly like Sigmund.
He's exaggerating a little bit. It wasn't exact.
It was pretty close. Threw us all for a loop. We suspected chaos sorcery at one point.
Oh, and was it?
No.
Not that we know of, no. But it was a very strange occurrence. So perhaps, like Sigmund said, this gentleman believes that Sigmund is that gentleman. Or he knows exactly who we are. We'll have to find out.
Just a reminder, how much of this you want to share with Lenny is up to you, but just sliding in a reminder, because we've had a couple of breaks since this happened.
No, we're not talking about the hundreds of gold that potentially are.
Yeah,
you have that in mind. Never mind. Carry on.
We left that out. I left that out. So.
Do you remember his name? The man y'all found?
I do not have it written down.
Okay, his name is Caster Lieberung.
Right.
Just to give you a reminder.
All right. Well, we can just head in then, clear things up. You know.
I probably spelled his last name wrong, but it's close enough.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's also could be friends with the last gentleman we beat up in black leather.
Oh, just because they wear black leather?
Wouldn't that be a riot? We get to beat up 2 people in 3 days.
Honestly, kind of looking forward to it. Let's get in then, and Lenny will move forward.
And just I will potentially give y'all a gimme here. Everyone except Lenny, because I don't believe Lenny was with you when this happened. Roll me a hard intelligence check. To see if you remember something.
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. No. Okay. So if you remember it, that's on you. All right. So you push your way into the inn. You arrive inside the Black Gold Inn. It is bustling. There is groups of people all drinking, sitting at tables. There are open spots. It's not completely packed. But there are quite a few folks laughing or talking among themselves. There's even someone playing some music in the back and singing some body song that it sounds like kind of typical nonsense about in love between some imperial noble and a peasant that's not meant to be, and they're star-crossed lovers and other nonsense. It's very sappy. And the bartender is being quite swift about moving around the room, making sure people have their drinks, constantly checking up on people. He doesn't notice you yet as you walk in.
Is there room at the bar for all of us to sit?
Yes.
All right. I was like, come, boys. Let's go sit at the bar. And I'll look to Dwarthendrel. Dwarthendrel, would you like wine, or are you going to pass?
I would like wine. If you are offering. If not, do not bother.
Oh, I am offering, absolutely. So I'll try and get the attention of somebody working at the bar.
Right. Dorothy will pause and say, "You know what? I'm good. I think I'll just drink with Yosef when I get back on boat."
Yeah, that was. To be fair, you have had a lot of wine in the past few days.
Well,
a lot of good wine.
Do you want something else, or even some food?
I will look around. Does this look like the kind of place that's just going to give me salted peanuts and be like, "Buy more ale"?
No, like you actually see people with like a pretty surprising selection of different looking drinks and food. Like you see some people that are eating meat. You even see someone that is eating something that could maybe be approximated to a salad. That looks like it was actually kind of intentionally put together of various
not
like
just
greens.
picked out of the back alley.
And there's people eating soup. Some people seem to have bread. It seems that this establishment, while it's not by any means high class, it seems that they seem to be doing well enough and are in a reasonable place where they're receiving constant trade, and also are benefiting from the farms around Weissbruck itself, which used to be more of an agricultural center, though it's evolved more into a merchant center in the last century or so. They seem to have a pretty reasonable selection of things to satisfy their guests.
Oh, I must say it is intriguing to see such a variety in a very quaint town.
At this point, you are noticed by the innkeeper, and he calls out, welcome, please have a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Good evening, sir. Could I have 3 pints, and I'll turn to Sigmund and Letty. Do you guys want food? Plate of dinner, perhaps?
Lenny's kind of distractedly looking for the guy.
He's
Crossbow
not there.
man.
You look around.
I'll just take a pint.
Hi,
Food
Sigmund,
would
do you
be
want
good.
food? Food?
Yes.
And Dorthendra, do you want food?
Dorothendra looks distracted.
So give me 3 pints and 3 dinner plates, please.
All right. He nods and says, that'll be a shilling each, gentlemen.
So that's 6 shillings.
Oh,
And
you're
I give him
suddenly
6
quiet.
shillings. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Lenny will lean towards the barkeep and just go, hey, say, we're looking for a man, big crossbow, kind of like, scars across the face, covered in leather. Have you seen him?
Came in.
Roll a challenging gossip check.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He kind of like.
I was gonna say, can Dorothendra assist with his mention of like he just came in?
You could just assist if you wish. And just a reminder, we're using the Lawhammer version of assistance, where everyone who wants to assist rolls separately, and whoever gets the highest will win, or we'll use their roll if they're able to contribute. We use the highest person's roll, and everyone else who passes adds a +1 to that person.
All right.
Oh, I like those dice.
So there's a pause as he his eyes flick from you, Lenny, to then you, Dorthandrel, and you can already tell from the look on his face that he you can kind of see the gears behind his mind of just saying, ugh, outsiders, because you're both different. You stand out quite significantly from the usual Imperial folk that come into the Black Gold Inn on a regular basis. And he's still holding out his hand expectantly for money for the food, and he says, no, can't say I saw anyone. It's a busy night in here, you see.
So seeing this, and I already had the shillings prepared, I'll hand him the shillings and say, forgive me for not introducing myself. My name is Astaroth von Hurlstein, Squire of the Knights Panther. I have official business with that gentleman, a message to deliver. Have you seen him?
Roll me a...
And I'll even slide an extra shilling in.
An extra shilling?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little extra shilling in.
Roll an easy bribery test.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All The 4 shillings vanish quickly into his pocket. And he says, "Oh yes, of course, sir, of course. You mean the gentleman with the crossbow over his back? Yes.
Yes, that's the one. That's the gentleman right there.
Yes, he just slipped out the back door just a moment ago. Seemed like he was in a bit of a hurry. If I apologize if you missed him. I didn't hear anything about him expecting anyone, but he only arrived I think sometime yesterday. Some kind of bounty hunter, I believe."
Ah, okay. Yes, that is the gentleman. Do me a favor. Hold these seats. Bring the pints. Bring the food. We'll be right back. We're not going anywhere. Can you do that for me?
Certainly, sir.
And Sigmund, Tothandrel, Lenny, let's go.
Okay.
Dorothan will pause as he heads with them, and he's going to take his right hand and scratch his left ear while looking at the innkeeper with suspicion. See if he does anything.
The innkeeper he puts out 3 plates, and he's snapping his fingers at one of the serving girls to order her over. And as he's doing that, he looks up and he sees you reaching your arm over your head to scratch at your ear. And you see his eyes just like narrow and his face kind of scrunch up and what the hell is he doing? And he just looks at you, and then he kind of like slowly turns and looks behind him as if there might be someone else there that you're looking at. And he turns and looks at you and he goes, "Sir?"
"Ah, so this is not one of your human greeting customs of farewell. Found some people in Altdorf who did it."
"No, not in Weissbruck, sir. No."
"Ah, I shall make a note of this." The elf will follow the rest of them.
With your keen elven hearing, you're able to hear him you hear him kind of mutter under his breath, "Fucking elves."
Are we able to easily identify the back door?
Oh yeah, it's once you know what you're looking for and that there is a back door, it is painfully obvious.
Okay, so I do my best to, as sprinting as I can in a crowded building, to run out the back door.
All right, you all stumble out the back door one after the other, and you see a cobblestone alleyway that leads out further into the streets of Weissbruck. And the sun is getting pretty far low now. Manslib has risen up in the sky at this point. It's not quite, it's the sun is still kind of going down below the horizon where you can't see it anymore, but it's still like the sky is kind of that brighter blue over there, and then it's slowly transitioning to the dark of night over in the east. And like the stars are very slowly starting to come out. Manslib's kind of starting to take over as the predominant light in the night sky. And you can even see a green pinprick of Morslib way off just above Manslib this evening. But you see no sign of the strange man with the crossbow.
Would I roll an intuition check to use my experience to kind of get a feel for what direction he took, a left or a right?
That would fall more under tracking.
Okay. Could I roll a tracking check?
Do you have tracking?
I do.
Then yes. But it is going to be -10. So it's going to be difficult because he did not leave a very obvious trail. You feel pretty confident that he probably went straight down the alley into the main road itself, but there are dozens and dozens and dozens of people, because this is right in the center of town. So there's all sorts of people just meandering around. There's stalls that are starting to close up. People are kind of packing away, settling down for the evening. And if he went into those crowds, which he almost certainly did, he could have gone anywhere from there, and you don't even know Weissbruck at all. You don't really know where any other major buildings are or what kind of major buildings there are. You don't know anything about Weissbruck. You'd probably have to ask around quite a bit just to get an idea of what you're dealing with as far as the city is concerned. He could have gone anywhere.
I'll turn to the group and say, what do you think we should do? The gentleman at the bar mentioned he's a bounty hunter, and he was keenly affixed on us, specifically Sigmund. So there's a good chance that somebody sent out a bounty on us. At least that's my main worry. We could try and pursue, look through the crowds, or should we give up and go back to enjoy our dinner and deal with it later?
Sigmund, do you remember what type of arrow killed those two ear scratchers?
And as soon as you say that, Astaroth kind of perks up. Oh, I totally forgot about those two. You're right. They were killed by arrows.
Not arrows.
Oh,
Bolts.
bolts. Yeah.
And he's just gonna step further into cover.
We don't have a lot of time. Every second that we waste, he takes a step further away. Shall we try and pursue a bit further, or do you guys just want to deal with it later? There's a good chance that he could kill us in our sleep. But
I prefer we go to the inn and ask around about him.
Well, we could ask around here. There are still people. He must have just come by.
As long as we have a lookout.
You can try asking the common folk.
so, Dolphendra, why don't you stay lookout by the door? Lenny, Sigmund, and I will go into the crowd and try and ask if they've seen anybody matching his description. Is that an acceptable plan?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's
That
go.
will nod.
We'll make our way out to the crowd. I will approach the first, somewhat reliable person that I see. Say, "Oh, did you see a man, black leather with a crossbow, walk this way?" And
Roll
what
me
would I roll for that?
average gossip check. Anyone who's going to try, roll me an average gossip check.
Okay.
Lenny's gonna look for the sketchiest guy he can find.
Oh, there's marginal failures. Oh, yay, Lenny!
Lenny!
All right.
There we go.
First, Astaroth, you walk up to a group of merchants, younger gentlemen, definitely probably in their late teens, early 20s, who seem to be kind of on their way somewhere after a night of drinking. Maybe they secured a deal, or maybe there's just nothing better to do. And as you ask them, they kind of all blearily look at you, and one of them goes, "You know how many people are walking around here? Who pays attention to a single person? What do we look like, scouts to you?"
No, I get that, but he's hard to miss. He doesn't really fit in with the crowd. You must have seen someone matching that description.
No, don't you? And one of them is going to say, "It's just no. We have better things to do than worrying about being errand boys for the likes of you."
Fair enough. I'll be with you.
They grumble a little bit, and as they're walking away, one of them goes, "Random people walking around with looking for men with crossbows. I bet this is tied to all that bad news we've been hearing about the Bogen. They say there's been mists creeping up from the sides. It means trouble. I'm telling you, it means trouble." And you hear another one go, "Oh, shut up!" Sigmund, you actually approach an older gentleman. He looks like maybe some kind of laborer, though he does have the appearance of a man, maybe in his late 40s. But he's got kind of that hard, his skin is wrinkled, but it's wrinkled more due to sun exposure, and because he clearly has a life working outside. calloused hands. And as you approach as you ask him about it, he just kind of shakes his head and says, "Nah, sorry, can't say I saw anybody matching that description."
Appreciate your help.
He nods, says, "Best of luck to you. He's a friend of yours, though? You might try one of the inns."
Yeah, I'll go do that. And he'll make his way back to Dorthandrel.
Lenny, being the enterprising individual that you are, you know it's best not to ask people who are just going about their day-to-day tasks. They're too busy worried about whatever it is that's going on in their heads. They're not going to be paying attention to people that might just be walking through the crowds. No. You want to look for someone who spends their day here. Someone that's constantly looking around and observing people on the regular. And just off to the side of this kind of crossroad, almost square-like area, behind where many of the stalls are set up, you see a man draped in very ragged clothes. And he is sitting on the ground, and he's got a little, like, clay little bowl type thing that he's holding out, saying, alms for the poor, and please, alms, to anyone that passes. The vast majority of people are studiously ignoring him. A couple people spit on him. He doesn't seem to be particularly offended or bothered by it. He just keeps panhandling. What do you want to say as you approach him?
You there, good sir. And I'll just like squat down beside him, throw silver into his cup. Looking for a bounty hunter looking fellow. Leather. Crossbow on the back.
A whole silver. Okay. His eyes kind of bulge a bit as the silver lands in his little pot, and he quickly like grabs it and banishes it up one of his sleeves with a little too practiced of ease. And he says, "Oh, Ranald, bless you, sir. Ranald, bless you."
Skip the blessings. Where'd he go?
And he looks around and says, "Ugly looking fellow, yeah? Scar on the face?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he went.
You've seen him.
He went that way, and he points down a road and says, "I bet he was heading to the Trumpet."
Oh, thank you very much. And I'll stand up, wipe away some of the debris that's been catching on him, maybe a bit of the spittle, shake it off, and I will go and find the rest of the group.
All right. The four of you regather at the back door to the Black Gold Inn.
Just patting my hand on my pants. All right, found the guy. He's running towards the Trumpet Inn.
So what shall we do? Shall we leave our food and drink behind, or shall we pursue him, or shall we stay at the Black Gold Inn?
Like, how long do you think it's gonna take?
Well, I don't know how long he'll stay at the Trumpet Inn. You know, we could enjoy our pint and our food and then go to the Trumpet Inn, but whether he's moved on from that location at the time, it's impossible to say. Typically, when tracking prey, you want to be as quick as possible.
I say we go now, catch him, head back to the Black Gold Inn as soon as possible. I heard someone say the name, I can't read. But after we get back, then we can celebrate.
I have to side with Lenny on this. Does anyone object?
Dorothandrel looks at all of you. Why don't you just take the food with you? Like, he can't be that attached to the chipped crockery.
And you did give him a whole silver for extra information. You've already paid for the plates.
You want to drink on the run? All right, sure.
It would be insulting to not eat and drink the food that was provided to us after we've paid.
I don't think he'd be that insulted.
I do agree with Lenny. I think we should go now. Does anyone object?
Dorthander will just shrug.
Not directly.
Then let us go.
We run off.
Okay, so y'all are going back to get the food, or you're just going straight to the Trumpet Inn?
The trumpet.
Yeah, going straight to the trumpet.
All right, you make your way down the street and head for a considerably larger building that it's a little bit more ramshackle than the Black Gold Inn. Like, it's more vertically designed, and because of that, the upper floors kind of have that classic Empire design of they almost look like they were stacked together by someone that isn't the most coordinated. Like, it's not swaying or anything along those lines. It looks a little suspicious if you look at it from the right angle. But for those of you that have grown up in the Empire, just been in the Empire for a long time, it's nothing unusual. Almost the entirety of Altdorf is way worse looking, and it somehow hasn't fallen over, so I'm sure it's fine.
Lenny's gonna throw his cloak to hide his face as best as possible.
Okay. So
Look at the rest of the group.
As you enter the Trumpet Inn is much more raucous than the Black Gold Inn was. There are people shouting at one another. You can hear them as you're approaching the outside. You already hear someone going, "Oh, shut your fucking mouth, you damn idiot!" And another person saying, "I'm telling you, it's true. I told you, I have it right here." You hear some kind of heated debate going on inside. The moment you walk into the door, you see that it's just a cacophony of noise, where the bartender seems completely unperturbed. He is sitting back behind his bar, studiously ignoring the argument. So you do see his eyes kind of flick up anytime someone's like bangs on a table or like stands up so their chair falls over, like makes it sound like they might be breaking something. You see him like pay attention for just a moment, and if nothing else seems to happen, he goes back to tending his glasses. And even the bar girls seem quite unbothered, as if this isn't a untypical experience for the Trumpet Inn, just kind of weaving their way through the crowds, dropping off drinks. But there's quite a bit of argument almost at all the tables, centered around one table where there is a group of individuals screaming at each other over a piece of paper that is on the center of the table. And you hear one man shouting, "They're fucking mutants! They're mutants! The only thing they're good for is killing them!" Another man says, No, I'm telling you right here, it says they're legal now! They're legal! You can't kill them no more!" And it's just devolving into a whole thing. However, as that debate is raging, you see in a bar room a little further in and off to the right, in its own kind of separate room, you see the man that you saw earlier. And he is sitting at a table with three very, very rough-looking individuals, who I will flash their artwork for you. These three definitely do not give off the best vibes. They look rather like the rather rough sort. And he seems to be talking quite intensely to the three of them, but it's impossible to make out what he's saying over the absolute din of noise of people screaming and yelling at one another.
All right.
Okay.
Are we here to make friends or enemies?
Let's try and make friends, and I'll turn to Sigmund and say, "Can I borrow 3 shillings? Let's go half and half on this."
Yeah, he'll hand over half his wages.
Y'all realize there are things
Small
less
on
than
the
shillings, right?
I only have silver shillings.
You can
pay with silver and get
you can
pennies
ask
back.
you can ask bartenders and such to give you lesser forms of coinage.
No, I don't know how.
I'll take Sigmund 3 shillings. I go up to the bar and say, "Oi, give me 5 pints, please, as quick as you can."
He just kind of nods absentmindedly and says, "There'll be 10 brass, my lord."
10 brass, you got it.
Do you have 10 brass, or are you just handing him a silver?
I'll hand him a silver.
All right, he will give you back the change, which I believe it's what, 12 brass to a shilling.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you get 2 brass back. And sure enough, within a few seconds, he produces 5 of the glasses that he has been meticulously wiping over and over and over again, though whether or not they're actually clean is debatable. And he has poured some pretty cheap booze into it, nothing spectacular, and slides them across and kind of gives you a nod. And you hear the crack of someone maybe using a chair in a way a chair's not meant to be used, and you see his eyes immediately turn that direction. Go, "Oi, settle down!" And he pulls up from underneath the bar stool a blunderbuss, and you hear a "Oh, sorry," and everyone kind of quiets down for a moment, and then slowly the volume begins to rise again as he puts the gun away slowly.
So I'm going to take 3 of the ales in one hand, 2 in the other. And while I am walking over to this man, I want to listen in on the conversation that was happening over the piece of paper.
So amidst the various insults and just continuous dropping of expletives, some of which you know, some of which are either local slang or have just been picked up from somewhere a little more colorful. What everyone seems to be arguing about is the piece of paper that they have that people are constantly grabbing about and reading over, or you see someone will like look at it and you can tell from the way they're looking at it that they're like trying to suss out what the words mean, but they probably can't read before they inevitably kind of like just give up and throw it back down or try and hand it off to someone. But you do see another similar piece of paper nailed up on one of the pillars supporting the ceiling, and it is it appears to be a declaration that has to do with mutants, and it says the following.
I can't read, so
never mind. They're
Yeah.
yelling about a piece of paper. The conversation seems to mostly revolve around that apparently, according to these people, the Emperor himself, Emperor Karl Franz, has declared that mutants are completely and perfectly legal, and that to kill a mutant is to commit murder.
I have the thought to myself, if I survive what I'm about to do, and everything goes well, I will deal with that in a moment, and I will continue over to the table. And I walk over to the table where this gentleman and his 3 friends are sitting.
Alright, as you approach, he catches sight of you first. The other 3 seem too busy just like nodding very heavily at everything he's saying. And every once in a while, you'll see one of them open their mouth and he just glares at them and they just slowly close their mouth up again. But as you approach the table, he notices you first and his mouth instantly snaps shut and he just holds up a hand. And the other 3 kind of turn and look, and they all kind of initially kind of start climbing out of their seats. And you hear him, the only thing you hear him say is "sit." And the 3 of them like kind of freeze and then just settle back into their seats. The smaller man seems particularly irritated. You can tell by his appearance at being ordered around, at least with that tone of voice. But nonetheless, they do sit, and all 4 of them simply stare at you.
So I walk over, seeing this, and just say, "Hey, friends, come!" And I slide each one of them an ale from my hands, 3 in one hand, 2 in the other, and say, "Hello! My name is Atheros von Hurlstein. I hear you're a bounty hunter, sir. Have you come to kill us? Kill one of us? Let's get right to the point. After all, we're all friends here. What business do you have with my fun group of friends?"
So, roll me a average charm check. Where are the other 3 of you, by the way?
Dorothander was ignoring the terrible human writing, but has now decided that it would be better to inflict upon himself the randomized capitalization than watch what's about to happen in that room.
Delightful. I will pull up that. What about the other 2 of you?
Lenny's just watching, close, like 3 feet back from Astaroth.
Sigmund's next to Dorothandra still, and like he's watching the entire room, but definitely keeping an eye on Astaroth's conversation.
Oh, 1 second.
Wow.
Hey, let's go.
I see that Harles can just cheat wherever he's at.
Sorry, just had to do a little thing real quick. Okay. Let's see. While you're doing that, I need to grab. Oh God, where is it? Where's the ding dang thing? I don't know if I've made this available to y'all. Let me double check. So okay, this should be. You're all able to see this, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the affidavit that you got from wait, how much of did that reveal all that stuff? Or
It's about building NPCs.
Oh, whoops. Okay, never mind. I sent you the wrong thing. My bad. 1 second.
Now, if you want a specific handout, right-click the handout and do the show to players option from there.
Okay, can you see nothing now?
I can still see the...
Well, X out of that. Don't read that.
Okay. Yep.
Sorry, I meant to send you... Where do these show up on the... Oh, gosh.
So, under journals, it would be under enemy and shadows.
Yeah, okay. I open the enemy and shadows, and then it says adventure and companion.
It's under appendices.
Oh, appendices. And then I would right-click on... Ah, I see. So now you can see just that one, correct?
Yes.
Good. Okay, I'm just giving these to you now so I don't forget. So these are the ones that you actually have in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the affidavit and the inheritance. Where is the stupid edict? It's not in here. Huh. That's strange. Fine, I'll read it to you myself. So, you find a piece of paper that says the following. Oh, that's because it's not a handout. Interesting. Sorry, 1 second. I have to find the right page.
I believe it says mutants are cool and all of them are fine. Signed, the recently mutated Emperor.
That's one way to interpret it. Did I just imagine it? Is there not a handout for it? Or a page for it? Well, whatever. So what it functionally says is what I said earlier. It is a declaration, a signed edict from the Emperor himself, that declares that let's see. It's Bogenhofen. Okay, so it simply says that the Emperor has declared that there are no mutants in the Empire. The practice of exiling or slaughtering those unfortunate enough to carry some sort of physical deformity purely because of their appearance is henceforth illegal and punishable by death under the law. That is what it says. So according to the Emperor, at least in Reichland, there is apparently mutants are not a real thing. They're just people with unfortunate physical deformities, and to harm them or to exile them or to treat them poorly under the law is now a potentially fatal error. Signed, Karl Franz.
Well.
Meanwhile, so you say everything that you say, Astaroth, and the three rougher looking individuals immediately perk up, and the smaller one says, "Oh, right on you, mate," and they start happily drinking at their drinks. However, the man with the crossbow he looks down at his drink, and then he looks up at you, and he simply says nothing.
It is not poisoned. I just got it from the barkeep. The barkeep has
one.
Yeah, he did.
Oh my good God. Okay, never mind. He doesn't. I didn't realize you rolled a freaking 1.
Hold on, I need to fix this.
Fix what?
There we go.
Just deleted the roll.
What? Cheat out, cheat back.
What?
That's so funny. Oh.
Why?
Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's not real. It's okay. It's not real.
Reality is what they wish to be.
So, he looks up at you, and his eyes kind of narrow a little bit, and he does actually pick up the drink and take a small sip. And he sets it down and he says, "You're hunting the manticore, are you not?"
Aye. That is correct.
That's what I'd heard. You could say we have a mutual interest.
So how does your interest in the manticore collide with my group's interest in the manticore?
He kind of looks you up and down. You're wearing all the stuff the Knights Panther gave you, right? So you have all of their little insignia markers on your armor?
That and my I went out and bought the yellow and red sashes for the colors of Talabeckland.
Right. So he sort of looks at you and he says, "Knights Panther?"
That is correct. I'm fairly new. I will not dishonor thee with lying. I was just initiated into their ranks. However, I am an official member and squire of the Nice Panther.
He nods and says, "Tell me something. To have been inducted into the Knights Panther and been chasing a manticore, would you say that you know your companions well?"
I do. I have the utmost trust in Sigmund and Dorthendril the Elf. Lenny is new.
Lenny's right behind
However,
Hi. Don't mind me.
Lenny is new to our group. However, I sense the utmost honesty and integrity in the man. And despite where he comes from, I trust him.
That's such a, like, vaguely, hilariously racist way to put that.
Dorthendril has taught you well.
He looks over at you, Lenny. Lenny, are you trying to kind of hide your, like, Norskin tattoos?
No, they're out. I'm just hiding my face.
Okay. He sort of looks over at you, and you can tell from kind of the sharp glint in his eyes, whereas everyone else you've talked to clearly doesn't really seem to know where you're from. Like, they're kind of guessing. You can tell from, like, the hardness in his face, this man knows exactly where you're from. Just by looking at you.
Oh! Are you from the north, too?
He sort of frowns and he simply says, "No. I'm from the Empire."
Friends in the north.
He simply shakes his head and says, "Sigmar's empire has no friends in the north."
Could I roll for perception to determine if I
You can roll
know
intuition.
Intuition? Okay.
And you're from Hockland originally, right?
Cal Becklin.
Oh, you're no, that was Sigmund. You're from
I have Lord Reichland and yeah, that's it, Lord Reichland.
So you can either roll a challenging Lord Reichland or a difficult, which is -10 intuition. It's your choice.
I'll do a Reichland.
Nope, no idea. No, in your head you go, that's a really weird way for someone to address someone from Midland. Very odd. Actually, the province of Mindenheim. Would be your guess. You did see a lot of weird people up there.
Could I use
A fortune point?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, absolutely. So to use a fortune point in this system, right click on the little box from your roll. If you right click on it, you'll see use a fortune point to reroll.
Okay.
Ooh! Okay.
Jesus.
There we go.
You kind of feel a bit of an unsettling cold shiver down your spine a bit. Because, like, a part of you suspected, but didn't really put two and two together until you're kind of faced with the clear coldness this man is treating Lenny with. You said, and like, you kind of think about Lenny's tattoos, and just his appearance, like how he's a little more pale than the rest of you, and there's kind of like almost a strange leanness to him. And when you really think about it, you're like, Lenny's canines almost seem a little like sharper and longer than most people that you've seen. And you kind of realize deep down, granted, you're not 100% sure. You feel like you probably need to confirm it with Lenny himself, but you feel pretty confident that Lenny is Norskin. And you've heard very, very few good things about Norskins.
I see it all now. I see it. You're after Lenny. Lenny might possibly, although I don't know personally, be from the north. And you have been set out by whoever you're from to hunt Lenny. Unfortunately for you, Lenny is my friend. And I've only known Lenny for a short time, but I know that I can trust him. If you continue your quest to hunt Lenny, I will kill all 4 of you right now in this inn, without a shred of remorse. However, if you leave, forget about Lenny, and whoever sent the bounty upon you, not only will I give you a small amount of financial compensation, I am just a man. I do not have infinite wealth. But you will continue to live on with your life.
Roll me a challenging intimidation check.
Oh. You did it again.
Good lord.
I hate this. I hate this so much.
And so to add on to that, now that I've rolled in a impressive success, I will say, while I am a newly inducted member of the Knights Panther, Lenny is not only my friend, but an integral part of my current quest. Inducted to me by the Knights Panther. Shall you, just a normal man, interfere with the doings of the Knights Panther? Surely, by killing Lenny and interfering with my current quest, shall bring upon the wrath of the Knights Panther upon thee. Are you ready to accept that responsibility?
So you see the 3 ruffians across from the bounty hunter pale noticeably. They look very profoundly uncomfortable with the current situation. However, the man in black simply picks up the drink you gave him and takes a long swig from it before he sets it down, and he stands up from the table, and he looks to you and he says, I have no interest and no business with your friend Lenny. And he his eyes sort of flick over at you, Lenny, and you can tell there's disgust in that look. Before he turns his attention back to you and he says, but I would advise to a young man like yourself that you be far more cautious in who you call friend.
And I would advise you, good sir, to stay in your lane.
He matches your glare. But he kind of looks down and he picks up the drink one last time and he finishes it off. And he says, thanks for the drink.
Any time, my good friend. If you wish to drink and partake in merry affairs, come find me. I will always be your friend.
He actually turns around and he leaves the room.
I look at the other group of guys.
They seem to be doing their absolute best to stay beneath notice and just kind of like sipping at their drinks, which may or may not have anything left in them.
I turn to Lenny and I go towards him and I put both my hands on his shoulders and say, "I got you, boy."
Okay. All right. I feel like your trust in me is very unearned, but I accept it. Here, let's at least meet up with the others now. I feel like I'd be more comfortable with them for now.
I agree.
Lenny's like, this man is terrifyingly friendly.
He just threatened to murder that guy and now calls him friend.
I kind of, not turning my shoulders, but just cranking my head back, look for Dorothandrel and, what's it? And Sigmund.
Dorothandrel's watching the man in leather.
He walks through, kind of all of the shouting and stuff. There's
Wait. Before he walks out, he's still in the building, right?
Yeah.
I flick him a gold piece.
So he's
That's a lot of money.
not looking at you. Like, he is beelining away from you and does not seem to be looking back of any sort of way. So, like, the odds of him noticing what you're about to do are pretty minimal.
Chuck it at him.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay.
Astaroth, does that man's back look familiar?
I look at his back. Can I roll perception to see if it
I
looks
was
familiar?
more interested in all of the guards with giant halberds. I'm
Their
pretty
roll?
sure those leathers are similar.
Roll, yeah, sure. You and Dorthandrel can roll a perception check.
Average or challenging?
Average is fine. Jesus fucking Christ. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do about you, Astaroth?
Hey, Dorthander rolled pretty much as equally well.
Yeah.
Listen, remember, when y'all are having to fight greater demons, it's Astaroth's fault. I've got to level out the playing field somehow. There is no relationship between this bounty hunter that you can tell by looking at him. Like, he has a pretty, getting the really, really in-depth look that you're both getting at him. He has a very suspicious and noticeable, when you're really paying attention, amount of Sigmarite iconography about him. This man definitely either seems to be incredibly faithful, or take his faith very seriously, or he's employed by the faith. Both of which are potentially very dangerous ramifications. He doesn't seem like a Templar of Sigmar, but if he is, for you in particular, Astaroth, that does cause a bit of a chilling feeling in your stomach. Because if he's an actual Templar, then you essentially would have just kind of threatened someone who is, like, legally significantly above your level. Like, insanely above your level. But he doesn't seem like a Templar. He does definitely, you feel confident he's a bounty hunter, and you really kind of maybe get the vibe that he's just more of someone that takes his religion very seriously. As he walks out the back door. But that being said, you do have kind of you do realize ever so slightly that you actually have caught the slightest glimpse of this man before. And the last time you saw him was in the Marketplatz in Altdorf, when you caught just the slightest glimpse of him as he shut the door after he invited those two men who were making the strange hand symbols at you guys.
kill you.
Astaroth is taking a break, or he'll be right back. So,
Limping his way to the outhouse.
yep.
Sigmund. What type of Actually, where did I keep that guy's name?
Which guy?
Witch hunter in Delta.
Oh, I have his name. 1 second.
It's like I also have his name, but I'd have to dig up the.
Reichardt Mayer
There you go.
and Father Virtek.
Yes, Reichardt. Yep.
Did Reichardt have as many symbols of Sigmar as that gentleman?
Reichardt had way more. Way more.
Way more? Okay.
Many more. Reichardt's an actual member of the church. As a witch hunter, he's just devout to Sigmar.
It's difficult to have that many, though. It's a bit garish.
There are some that believe with showing it off more, it means that they are protected more by it.
I will remind you that y'all have been here for like at least 30 minutes, and you still have food waiting for you back at the Black Gold Inn.
Yeah. Maybe we head back to a quieter place. Makes it a little easier to make sure no one's gonna walk up behind you and stick something sharp inside you.
All
Sounds
right.
good to me. I
Alright.
think I've had enough action here.
Real quick, before you all leave the Trumpet Inn, I would like each of you to roll a d10. And I'm going to type a number in the chat, and if you match that number, something potentially bad may happen.
Nice. This is
Or
gonna be
something
8.
marvelous.
How does one roll just a d10?
/ roll 1d10.
Okay, it's the same.
So far, so good. Okay, and I will roll for Astaroth.
I'm here. Hold on.
Oh, good, he's back. That was quick.
I
You crawled very swiftly.
going down is way faster than going up.
Oh,
The D10.
Yeah, just roll me a d10. Okay, y'all are able to leave the Trumpet Inn amidst the heated debate. Everyone's shouting at each other about mutants. You hear some people saying, "Oh, mutants should be killed. One of them ate my son. They're monsters, the lot of them." And you hear another person, people are just tearing into each other verbally. But other than
Wait.
What?
I'm sorry. I meant to deal with this after the fact, so I don't want to leave yet.
Oh, no. Can we pick Astaroth up and
Choose
just
your
go?
battles carefully.
Astaroth, let's just leave,
I should
please.
say, this is like a solid group of about 20 people that are having a heated argument.
Sigmund, no. I'm a member of the Nice Panther now.
Right.
And not only do I agree with the teachings of the Night Panther, but I felt this way my entire life, so I must object.
Oh,
He's a
then
good man.
you
Here's
missed
the-
your chance. We should have done that in Altdorf at the palace.
It was no implication for me to do so, but these gentlemen arguing at this table,
Men and
These-
women.
men and women,
These
excuse me,
citizens of the Empire
I
are
wouldn't
just
say
having a debate about the current laws. They're not breaking any laws. They are well within their rights. So let's go have our meals that are very cold by now.
Gothendril, can you pick that notice off the beam of the support and read it to me.
I mean, I don't need to touch it to read it.
Or can you read it to me?
Yes. So, mutants don't exist. They are merely physical maladies afflicting the unfortunate. You can't kill or exile anyone for having a physical abnormality. Signed, Emperor Carl-Franz.
And to exile or kill them is illegal under pain of death. That's an important
It's murder
bit.
just like with anyone else. Well, I assume... Is it murder? After all, Yosef did say that people die often by other people knifed in the dark. Is that murder? Have mutants, or I'm sorry, the physically abnormal, have more rights than the average citizen here?
No, if you murder someone and get caught, you get the same punishment is what they're saying now.
I will take a stool, a bar stool,
Oh boy.
and I will stand up upon it.
Oh boy.
Astaroth, that's an
Dorothy.
official notice.
Dorothendrel will look at Astaroth. Are you about to do something very stupid?
Am I going to have to arrest you, Astaroth?
Stupid? No. Per the teachings of the Ninth Panther, and what my new faith obliges me to do, I must do.
He knows what he's doing. I've seen him. He's amazing. I trust him.
You... Are the Knights Panther amenable to riots?
We shall see. And I will stand up on the bar stool.
Okay, I'm going to try and just, because he's now in an elevated position, just grab his legs and fireman carry him.
And I will say this.
Sure, roll me a grapple check.
Oh.
What weapons? Brawling. Astaroth,
Absolutely.
are you wishing to not be carried off like a damsel in distress?
Yes.
You can either do dodge or you can do melee brawling to like not be garbed.
So it'd just be melee any?
Yeah, if you don't have brawling, then it's just regular.
What level of
it'll
dodge?
just be your weapon skill.
Okay.
It's challenging because it's an opposed check.
Hey, stop
The
cheating.
man can't be stopped.
You can't
Oh.
stop the Astaroth!
Yeah, Sigmund, you kind of like come up behind him and attempt to kind of like brace his knees over your shoulder so that you're able to like get him to kind of fall over and grapple him. But you kind of underestimate how heavy a lot of his new equipment is. He's significantly heavier than he used to be. And he also seemed to have been prepared for one of y'all to attempt to stop his potential stupidity. So he's quite easily able to like maneuver himself out of the way and just sort of shove you aside. All right, Astaroth, go ahead and do it.
Greetings, patrons of this inn. My name is Astaroth von Hurlstein. I'm a squire of the Knights Panther,
Get down.
newly inducted. No! The message shall be delivered. Hear ye, all that listen. This decree by the Emperor is not true. This is not the Emperor's words. For the Knights Panther stand for purity. Purity for the Empire. Purity for the common folk. Any mutants that exists within the Empire is a heretic and shall be cut down. That is the teachings of the Night Panther, and that is the teachings of the Emperor. This is not the word of the Emperor. This is heresy. This is not true. Anyone exhibiting any signs of heresy or mutation is impure and shall be cut down. Take up arms, citizens of the Empire, against your mutants, against your heretics, and cleanse your cities of sin against Sigmar. For it is impure to allow these mutants to exist. Take up arms and purify these mutants from your lands. That is the way of the Night Panther, and that is the will of the true Emperor. What shall you do?
Roll me a you can either do challenging charm or challenging intimidate.
Can I do the opposite of assisting?
No, you're just part of the mob now. Don't worry about it.
He's almost a
It had to break.
Okay, so I also did a roll.
Oh, we noticed.
So the crowd pauses.
Could I use my last fortune point?
I believe you actually have 2 more, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use a fortune point if you want.
Now, you can always use a fortune point if you have them. You just can't always get a dark deal.
Well, so much for that.
I will take a dark deal.
Though you do
No.
hear hear a whisper. You do feel a whisper that maybe you could sway this crowd. Maybe you could inspire this random group of angry people in a random inn in a fairly tiny town in a random part of the empire that they should ignore a proclamation from the emperor himself. Maybe you could be that figure.
I could. Then I will.
If you want to, I'm not going to stop you. You can, if you right click on that, you can use a dark deal. Free corruption
Right-click
point.
on-
I'll take it.
Intuition?
What? No.
Your intuition test, if you
Sorry.
right-click it.
Intimidate.
Yeah. Take a dark deal to reroll. Do you see that when you right click on it?
No.
Oh, why is it intuition? What the fuck? Oh, I see what happened. Okay, hold on. So whenever you want to reroll, you do not go to your character sheet. You just do it within the chat box.
Oh, okay.
So, like, on your original Intimidate check, you would have right-clicked on it and said use a fortune point to reroll, but you already rerolled it, so don't. So now what I want you to do is I want you to click your Intimidate test, so the one where you had the -2. When you right-click on it, you're going to see a take a dark deal to reroll.
Hey.
Wow.
Wow, look at that. You got a +1. Nice job. So, you finish your speech, and everyone kind of goes quiet. Like, you get everyone's attention, but between, like, the fact that you're a little more dressed up armor-wise than anyone else, like, you're fairly well armed compared to all these, like, random people who are just enjoying, well, they were enjoying their evening until it turned into a big debate. But there's, like, a noticeable pause, like, a tension in the air. And there's kind of, like, the air is just like thick with waiting for a reaction, waiting for the foot to drop. And the man you heard earlier, because you saw him yelling about his son having apparently been eaten, you see him kind of like, you see his jaw clench, and he sort of nods his head at what you're saying. But then there's a woman near the back who says, "Well, what about them babies? You know, my sister says that she knew a lass whose baby was born a mutant. That baby didn't do nothing wrong. It's just a baby."
Babies and infants shall be spared until they are old enough to determine whether they will commit malice or repent.
At that, one man kind of, his face screws up a little and goes, "But you said mutants were evil. Are they evil or are they not?"
Mutants are evil, yes, within the confines of adulthood. An infant cannot determine evil or good. An infant is an infant. You must nourish the infant until it can determine what choices it will make in life.
You hear an older man say, "Well, that's not what the father at the local temple says."
That
He
is what the
says-
Knights Panther say, and that is what I say, and that is what the Emperor says. Shall you defy the word of the Emperor?
His
That-
seal's on the paper.
That is where a man with glasses near the back looks up at you and he goes, "Didn't you say you were a squire?"
I am but a humble squire. Yes.
He points at you and he says, "This man's a fucking loon!" And he picks up his beer and he throws it at you. Roll a dodge check.
What type?
It's gonna be challenging because it's opposed.
No.
And
Well, we have to see what he has to roll. He might roll like 100.
I'm
or
gonna
something.
roll a random person. Come here, you. Oh, just barely. Like, he throws it, and for a moment, as you kind of like stumble backwards, you see the drink soaring through the air, and you think to yourself, "Oh, I'm gonna dodge it." But as you think that, because you're standing on a stool, it wobbles. And your face moves just such that it moves directly in the path of said projectile.
And I drank it.
And it slams into your, well, not your face, but your body. And it slams into your left arm, spilling rank beer all over you. And the second that happens, you hear a bunch of people go, "Yeah, fuck him!" And everyone starts picking up their food and their drinks and hurling them at you.
Guess that's why they call him Von Hurlstein.
Oh my god.
Shall you defy the word of the Emperor?
As
The
he's
Knights
getting
Panther
pelted.
stand for
every
purity
other
in the Empire.
Every other word out of your mouth is punctuated by you being hit by a tomato, a bowl of soup, another beer. You are being covered in just food.
They're not murdering him, so I'm not going to step in.
Could I roll for one more?
You may roll one more dodge check as you are being pelted by refuse from angry people.
Challenging?
Yes.
I meant to use a fortune point, but
No, this is just going to be a regular roll. With that roll, although you are being pelted enough that it forces you off the stool, you are able to step down with relative dignity without falling onto your face and potentially injuring yourself. By the way, though, you do take one wound from the first beer stein that hit you, because it was actually a pretty solid direct hit. But you are nonetheless covered in just lots of stuff. Your clothes are probably going to stink if they're not washed, and your armor is now covered in filth. You look terrible. The good news is the people are no longer arguing among themselves. The bad news is they're directing all of their anger at you.
let us go.
Oh, yeah? You mean what I suggested before you got up on your high stool?
Nope, let us go.
Gonna let
As
him go
you are-
first. So
As you are chased out by the last few projectiles, there is a cheer from the people of the Trumpet Inn that the weird guy who was spouting absolute nonsense and claimed to speak with the voice of the Emperor himself has been chased away.
Well,
All right.
honestly, went better than expected. Let's celebrate.
Yes, let's go. Perhaps Astroth could dip in the water for a moment.
yeah, sure. Dorthandra has some tips for getting your clothes clean for you.
Yes, hire a servant.
All right, y'all gonna make our way back to the Black Gold Inn?
Yeah.
Yep.
All All right, you're able to mosey your way back, and the entire time Astaroth is leaving a wet trail behind him. His beer continues to stream off of his armor and his cloak and his body. He's leaving squelching footprints on the cobblestone. But you arrive in the Black Gold Inn, and as you all walk in, you find cold food waiting for you, along with drinks that have clearly just been sitting there. But he did save your seats. And it is like well into nighttime now. And the proprietor of the inn, he looks over at you in particular, Astaroth, and just sort of he just sort of like frowns, and he just says, "Long night, gentlemen."
Just a bad decision.
Ah, well, let me know if you need anything.
Do you have soap?
Well, we can acquire some.
Needle and thread?
Yes.
Yes, those would be good.
We offer those services, of course, to those staying the evening. He kind of leans forward.
Dorothander will look to Astaroth to see if he wants to do this thing.
Yes. Please.
Delightful. That will be a shilling each for the evening. Will you be sharing a room or separate?
I think it's just him.
I'll stick around.
I mean, to be fair, the beer belly is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I wanna at least help him clean up. Look at him.
Yes, I can see
he looks pretty sad.
Yes.
It's nice. I got a mop. I can help.
Clean from a distance.
A mop.
I'll toss a shilling over.
All right, who all is staying the night?
Lenny and Astaroth.
Lenny and
Sigmund's
Astaroth?
going back to the boat.
All right, Dorthandrel, where are you going?
Back to the boat. Dorthander does not have the money to splurge on a silver shilling to sleep at a less than comparable inn when there's a nice, decent boat nearby.
It does come with a bath.
He'll debate long enough to see the kind of bath Astaroth gets. Like, are they bringing in hot water? Is this just...
No. No.
Yeah, then no.
It's a bath. It is not a luxury experience.
Astaroth can have his cold bath with hard lye instead of decent, nice soap. Dorothandel can take a swim.
Cool. So Astaroth, they do offer to basically launder all of your stuff over the evening, but it's going to cost you an additional 6 brass.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So, the two of you spend the evening, they end up giving you, unless you want to pay for more, they give you a shared room.
Good enough.
No complaints? Going once, going twice? Cool. So the two of you are able to share a room. Astaroth, you're given like a fairly simple, like pullover, long shirt to just keep you decent after your bath while they take all of your armor and clothes to wash. And Lenny, you're able to enjoy, although the inn is not by any means amazing, it is more comfortable in some ways than the Bear Belly. Though for you, it's a little weird sleeping on a flat, solid surface that is not swaying with the river or the sea. So that's a little odd. It sleeps a little hard for you, but otherwise, it's nothing too bad.
Nice.
So the night passes. Dorothandrel, you're able to dip into the River Bogen without any serious issues. No stirpikes come after you or anything of the sort. And the water is certainly cold, but it's not horrible by any means. When you arrive on the Bear Belly, everyone has already tucked in for an early night. Yosef and Retta are already asleep, as is their little one. The glorious captain has retired to his chambers, likely with a wine bottle to nurse.
All right. What was the name of the woman who worked on the Bear Belly?
That is Retta, I believe.
Retta?
Let me double check. I just said Yosef twice, didn't I?
Probably.
Oh.
It's on record. We can find out later.
No. I know what page it's on. Wolmar and Gilda. There it is. Retta's a different character. Wolmar and Gilda are the two boat hands that you see around. Gilda is the particularly colorfully languaged one. Anytime any of you have had any interaction whatsoever, there is at least 2 or 3 fucks thrown in there. The word.
Thank you for that clarification.
She's incredibly foul-mouthed. They do have a baby girl, Elsa, but like you rarely ever see her. She's pretty much entirely kept in the cabin that they're staying in, and like you hear her crying fairly often. But her parents do a pretty good job tending to her, and like every once in a while, Gilda will walk around, or Wolmar will walk around the Bear Belly holding her. But like for the most part, you don't see her terribly often. You do see the other two often enough, but they have definitely retired for an early evening.
Okay. Is there like night watch on the docks?
Yeah.
Dorothan will go out, greet whoever is doing the patrol near their Bear Belly, and pass him. Do I actually have any money? Pass him a shilling and ask to keep a good watch around the Bear Belly.
Okay, the guard, roll me a easy bribery check. Because you are technically asking him to kind of prioritize something over his right. Yeah, okay, yeah. He goes, oh, yep, certainly. Master Elf, I'll make sure that nothing untoward happens here.
All right, thank you very much. Here you go. I toss him the shilling.
Nice. He pockets it, and although he does maintain on his patrol route, any time that you like kind of even casually take a look out, you see him somewhere along the docks. Even if he's a ways away, he seems to always kind of have his eyes vaguely in the Bear Belly's direction.
What? That's enough. He will go and get some sleep.
All right. Anyone that is missing wounds can roll a average endurance check. I know for the fact that Astaroth is missing 1.
Yep.
So on your main character sheet, in the main page where your wounds are at, there's a bed icon. If you click that, that will bring up the thing to roll for wounds.
Nope, no healing for you.
Ugh.
All right. However, very late in the night, or one might say early in the morning, probably around 3 a.m., Dorothandrel and Sigmund, roll me a perception test. It is average.
Okay.
Dorothandrel,
Nice.
you hear the watchman from earlier shouting outside on the dock, "Oi! Get away from there!"
Oh boy, peasants rioting. Dorothandrel's going to get up and shout, Sigmund! I think some friends are here to deal with Astaroth's foolery.
Okay. How does sleeping in armor work in this system?
As long as it's not like plate armor, it's not exceptionally punishing, though male is not comfortable to sleep in.
Okay, I was going to say that he's probably just in his leathers.
Yeah, essentially the way it would work is that if you are sleeping in anything more than leather, it could potentially I will make your like endurance checks for a restful night's sleep more challenging. If you sleep in plate, you're gonna have some like serious penalties and like could wake up fatigued. Unless you're like I would essentially have you just roll endurance checks to just see how hardy you are and if you're able to tolerate it or if it keeps you up, etc., etc.
Okay. Yes,
After
he's just in
calling
his
to
leathers.
Sigmund,
As
Andrew's going to yell to Yosef, there might be trouble.
as you yell that into Yosef's room, the only thing you hear back is a "Ugh!" That's all you hear.
Yeah, but I head back above deck.
You do hear the guard outside going, I don't care what your business is at this ungodly hour. Fuck off. Sigmund, you find Dorthandra waiting for you. Are the two of you going to go top deck and see what's going on, or are you going to go back to bed?
I will join him on top deck, and I will have sword in hand and a blunderbuss slung over my shoulder.
All right. As the two of you arrive on the deck of the Bear Belly and you look over the railing down below, you see the guard has grabbed a single man, one that you recognize. I keep clicking the wrong freaking things, and it's making me annoyed. You see this little guy.
Just a little guy.
Being roughly manhandled by the guard, and you hear him say, "Oh, I just want to talk to him. I just need to talk to him." And the guard says, "Fuck off!" and just like shoves him very roughly back towards Weissbruck.
Now, this is far less than I thought might show up. What's going on?
The two of them turn around, seeing you, and the guard kind of like looks back at him, looks back at the two of you, and he just says, "Oh, fucking, it's not my problem." And he just goes back to his patrol. And the smaller man looks up and says, "Oh, yeah, you's with that Knight's Panther lad, yeah?"
Yes.
"I needs to talk to him."
About?
He looks around conspiratorially, even though there's no one even remotely close to y'all after the guard has like made his way significantly down the dock side. And he says, "It's about the manticore. I knows where it is."
Really?
"Aye, it's just outside the city. I can lead you there." "Well, if you pays me, of course."
Dorthan will just listen. Are there cries of despair and screams in the distance?
"Nope, pretty quiet night."
I don't see why I should believe you at all. There is a noticeable lack of manticore.
Also, that guard that was circling around, is he still within, like, calling back over range?
Nah, I mean, you could try. Whether or not he'd actually come back is a matter of debate. I mean, Dorthandra paid him some money, but he didn't pay him a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Then can I go to him?
If you want to jog off the boat and run past that little man, yeah.
Yeah, he's got his weapon in hand. If this guy tries something, he's ready.
As he sees you coming off the dock, he goes, I just need to talk to him. I could prove it."
One second.
What color is it?
He looks up and he says, "Oh, well, it's like black and it's got like red to it." And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out what looks to be a very large tuft of fur.
Black and red, you say?
And he kind of like holds out. He goes, "See, I found this."
Is it red fur?
Yes.
That is very interesting.
I'm telling the truth. I just want to get paid, and I'll show you.
Your friend wasn't paying you.
He offered to pay us, but he hasn't paid us yet. And they say those Night Panthers have deep pockets.
We can cut to Sigmund.
Sigmund, what are you doing?
I'm going to jog over to the guard. Excuse me.
Or what?
Just need to confirm something the little guy's saying. Any sightings of a manticore nearby?
He kind of like he looks at you like he's waiting for you to add anything. He waits. And he goes, "No, you think I'd be patrolling out here by myself if there was a damned manticore flying around?"
Hey, some watch captains aren't very careful about their men. I'm not saying you wouldn't be smart enough to do it.
Weissbruck is a peaceful place. We don't need people spreading rumors about no damned manticores. Fuck off.
I'm not trying to spread it. That's just what he's saying.
Well, then he's lying.
And now we can put bed to this rumor. Thank you. And I'll head back.
All right. You approach and see Dorothandrel. Dorothandrel, do you come down, or are you just still up on the boat?
Dorothandrel will come down.
All right. You see
to look at the fur.
You see Dorothandrel standing next to this smaller, noticeably ugly little man, who is eagerly holding out a handful of some kind of reddish fur, and he's excitedly saying, I could take you to where I found it. I know it's lurking around that area. It's hiding."
Intuition test. Does this city boy, ruffian-looking person seem like the kind of person who could sneak around a giant bloodthirsty manticore?
Roll me a challenging intuition check.
May I try and assist as well?
Sure.
Well, Dorothander got it.
He looks kind of like rough and tumble enough that you suspect that it's possible, but he definitely looks more like the kind of man who spends a lot of his time in the rougher parts of the cities and towns of the Empire, but he may not necessarily be native to Weissbruck. Like, he looks like someone that is experienced, particularly when it comes to forms of violence. However, he doesn't really give off the vibes to you of like a hunter or a scout or a woodsman or anything. He definitely does not live in the wilds.
Alright, well, I think it would be interesting. Astaroth might seem to know a lot about animals. Be really amusing if that's cow fur.
Maybe a bear or something.
He looks aghast and says, "Are you accusing me of lying? I'm not lying."
No, I'm just saying we're not the ones to be able to tell if you're telling the truth.
Let's go talk with Astaroth.
Is that the panther?
And maybe...
Yes.
Oh, good.
Oh, it is far too early for this.
He comes with you willingly.
Head.
Y'all go to the Black Gold Inn?
Yep.
All right, the three of you arrive without any issue, and as you walk into the downstairs, kind of the main hall, the lobby type area, there's a fire crackling away in the in the oh my gosh, words.
Hearth.
Hearth, thank you. Keeping some warmth. It's being tended to regularly enough, and it's not roaring by any means, but it's enough of a warm glow to give the place kind of a homey atmosphere and stave off the worst of the cold, because y'all are kind of towards the end of winter. It's spring. It's kind of getting to spring, but it's just the beginnings of spring. And there are a few people already either still up or already up, or maybe recent arrivals who are just nursing their drinks. And the bartender seems to have gone to bed, but there is a serving girl who is up, though you kind of see her nodding off over at the bar.
Oh, hello, Knight. The squire's room with all the laundry being done.
She sort of like starts, and she looks, and when she looks at you, her eyes get very large, and you hear her go, "Are you an elf? An elf?"
He will lean down. It's a secret, but yes.
She kind of takes in your fairly inhuman features, especially when up close, and the shadows being cast by the early morning light almost kind of add more of a sinister air than you may intend. And she kind of like pales a little bit. She goes, "Oh, I won't tell nobody. Please don't take my name. I like my name."
Then. You can have your name. I'm feeling very benevolent. But the room?
Oh, it's if you go up, it's the second on the right.
You will give her a nod and then head up.
All right. The room is locked, I presume, assuming the two of them are not complete idiots.
I mean, so it's unlocked. Wait, Lenny is in there. It might be locked.
It's locked.
Dorthander will knock.
Lenny and Astaroth, roll me. You can do a challenging perception check.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Of course. Of course. Why not?
Of course.
Astaroth, you wake up. You hear someone knocking at the door. You do see over in the corner of the room, your armor is all stacked up, and next to it on a type of like a desk or a drawer is your clothes have been laid out.
Master Squire.
Oh, put it on.
The clothes are still kind of wet, but it's cold, but it's not like awful. They're just damp.
Yeah.
A humble citizen of the Empire requests an audience.
I'll put it on and enter the door.
It's Dorthandrel. Talking
Hello?
nonsense.
Your friend wishes to instruct you on how to go through the woods to hunt a mythical manticore.
Did you bring him upstairs with you or leave him downstairs?
Yes, I brought him upstairs.
He almost rather rudely shoves his way like through and underneath Dorthandrel, like past his arm, and he holds out this fistful of red fur, almost hitting you in the face with it. He says, Look, I brought proof. I know where it is. It stinks.
Ah, you know where it is.
Dorthander will gesture for Sigmund to get inside, and then he will close the door behind them and lock it.
He'll do so.
Lenny, you wake up as the small man, his excited babbling is a little too irritable to drown out.
But who's this? Oh, it's you.
He looks up and he says, "Oh, my name's Bent."
Hi, Ben. Nice to meet you. Are you, why are you here?
He kind of points, he goes, "I told the knife here, I know where the manticore is and I could take you, but we have to go tonight."
How long have I slept?
y'all made vaguely responsible decisions, so you've probably been asleep for about 5 hours.
Mm.
Not as long as you would have liked, but you've definitely slept for less. And had to, like, suffer through a day of work.
And you guys trust this guy?
Oh, of course not. I only brought him here so that we'd be alone in a room. Rareth never mentioned it having red fur. It was black with the white of age.
That is true.
he kind of roll. Oh gosh. Roll an intuition check, Dorthandrel, but it's average.
Can I assist?
Yes. Yeah, he doesn't need it. As you say this out loud, Bent starts sweating noticeably. And he says, "No, it's got a red mane. That's what I got. I saw it."
I mean, I'm pretty sure that Rareth would have noticed a giant red mane. He may have been fairly simple, but colors he seemed to understand.
He kind of looks at. He's mainly looking. His eyes are mainly going between Dorthandrel and Astaroth at this point, and he says, "I just okay. Hold on. Okay, maybe I didn't see it, but I know someone who did see it."
And who would that be?
That man, the one who came and found us. He was hiring us to help us kill it.
And he told you where it was.
Well, yeah, we told him. He told us where to find it. He said it's just if you go out of the city and into the forest, it's just about I think he said like a 20-minute venture north, and there's a cave. But I do know where that cave is. I do, genuinely, I do. If you want, you can roll another intuition check.
Dorothandrel does not believe this man.
If anybody wants, they can roll intuition at that particular statement.
Yeah. Challenging?
Yes.
Nice.
The elf seems to have a handle on the situation.
Astaroth, you said your father taught you a lot about animals. I presume you know that animals have different kinds of hair and fur. Could you tell what this is? And he will gesture at the rank-smelling thing in Bent's hand.
Astaroth has briefly headed to the restroom.
Ah. But Bent, is that like a bent fake coin?
Say what?
Bent, is that bent as in like a bent fake coin?
B-E-N-G-T.
Ah, he doesn't even know how to spell his name.
Listen, the Brits wrote the book, okay?
Also, the G is capitalized.
It is actually not.
Bent, you realize you've just said that the man hunting the manticore gave you proof that it's here, hired you to help him, and instead of taking you to help him, you ran here with the proof.
No, you see, he was supposed to pay us to help him, but then this Claude, and he points over at Astaroth, walked in and spoiled the deal, and he stomped off. He didn't pay us. We haven't gotten paid.
And he let you take... You will gesture at the clump of fur.
Well, he left in such a hurry. And me and the lad and lass, were thinking that we might as well get something for our trouble. He was offering us 5 gold each.
Astroth, is that cow fur? Something
Yes.
from a fox?
Astroth, what do you have, like lore beasts or something?
Yes.
Roll. Ooh, this will actually be interesting. Roll a difficult lore beast check.
Okay.
No.
Suspicious.
What was that?
So, Astaroth, you look at this rank, damp at this point fur that this man is holding because his perspiration is starting to soak into it. Because he's clearly nervous about being locked in a room with people that don't believe him and are armed. And he is himself armed, but not with swords. And as you look at it, the thing that strikes you is that you've never encountered a manticore. You have no idea what manticore fur is actually like. You have seen a lot of domestic animals. You've even seen your fair share of wild animals. You've seen cows. You've seen dogs and cats. You've seen bears and boars, deer, etc. The one thing that leaps out at you is while this fur is definitely red, and Rarit, who you do have faith in, said the manticore that y'all are pursuing was not red. Nonetheless, this fur belongs to something. Something you've never seen. It doesn't match anything that you've personally encountered. But what really sticks out at you is that the individual hairs are very long. Whatever this came from, manticore or not, was sizable. Or very, very fluffy. One of the two.
Never seen hairs quite as long as this. Nor have my father.
I will say, it is definitely fur, though. It's not like a person's hair.
I, through my time, have never seen anything quite like this. I do not know if it belongs to a manticore or another being. However, I can say that I have never seen anything quite as long as this.
Okay, and I will, because you rolled so well, I will allow you a challenging perception test for one other nugget of information.
Okay.
Ah, delicious. Okay, cool.
The rerolls are real.
Don't you dare. Just accept the failure. For once in your life. He kind of looks between the four of you and goes, just listen, you pay me, I'll take you, I'll take you to where it is, and then you never have to see me again, yeah? We'll go our separate ways. You can do what you want with it. Maybe.
How much?
Or you could pay us to go with you.
Aye, that's
And
true.
then you could get your fair share of, what was it, 500 crowns? Far more than we would pay you.
He kind of like raises his eyebrow and says, 500? It's worth 500
I might be forgetting. It might have been bigger.
500 crowns for the manticore. That's what it was.
Dorathandrel, roll me a average haggle check.
And you could bring your friends
Ooh.
along.
Wow, all right. He kind of like he sits there and he goes, "Heck, we could buy our own town with that much money." All right. How much will it take? We get a fair cut though. We get an equal share.
Well, hiring a knight's panther, even if just a squire, is no small task.
He starts sweating again, and like he stuffs the fur in his pocket, and when his hand comes out, it's still like covered in it, and he sort of like is nervously wiping it against his pants. And he says, "Well, I don't have that much money. I'm not a wealthy man. You think I'd be taking fights to fight beasts if I was wealthy?"
Dorthan will look at Astroth. Maybe.
Maybe. Just perhaps.
I've only got 10 silver.
Well,
10 silver shall do.
Fine. And he takes out his meager wallet and pours out the 10 silver that he has, leaving nothing but dust and empty air, and hands them over and says, now can we go? We have to hurry.
Of course, you get your friends.
They're already there waiting for us. They're supposed to make sure that everything's good to go.
Oh, what is everything?
Make sure.
He will say, unlocking the door.
As he kind of walks out, and you notice there's a bit of a hustle in his step now that I guess he's wagered on it. And he says, to make sure everything's like all solid, make sure the creature's there, that there's nothing else around the cave, that the road hasn't been destroyed, or there's nothing to worry about. They're making sure everything's good. We haven't been there in a while. I mean, we've been there before, perfectly normal reasons. We weren't there for anything against the law. We weren't doing anything that the watch would need to know about. We just, we just were there.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a very good liar.
There wouldn't be anyone else who just happened to be there for other law-abiding reasons.
No, there shouldn't be. Just the three of us.
Where is the bounty hunter, though? Surely he hasn't missed you wandering off on your own to the location he gave you, that he was going to pay you to hunt a very valuable manticore.
Consider, the look he gives Astaroth very much kind of makes you think that this is definitely a man who is keenly aware of the fact that he's gone from a situation of being paid to do something to paying to do something. And he goes, I wish I knew, because I'd be 5 gold richer if he was with us. But this one had to scare him off. And he looks at you, Astaroth, and he goes, some of us are trying to make a living.
That is of no concern to me.
Look at you, fitting into the nobility, no problem. As you're going down the stairs, he turns to look at the four of you and he says, can we go?
Aye, we can.
Alright, are y'all taking all your stuff with you, or are you leaving anything behind?
I'm not going to take my mop and bucket.
Okay,
take my stuff.
Astaroth, Sigmund?
I gotta pick a couple things up from the boat and make sure they don't leave without us, but I'm good.
I'll take what I have on me.
Alright, you make your way over to the gate over here. And how do I ping? Is it shift?
You need to be on the token controls, and you just hold down.
Thank you. You make your way over to this gate, a little ways above the Black Gold Inn, and you see the remainder of Weissbruck remaining, and he goes, come on, hurry, we could be there before the sun rises if we hustle. And he actually starts to, like, it's not even a jog, it's like a fast jog, borderline run.
Dorothander will follow, but once we get a fair ways out, maybe 15 minutes, he's going to try to grab the guy and tell him, slow down.
As you make your way out, you run down the main road of the Weissbruck, and you make your way out in to where the cobblestone falls away to just kind of shattered and crumbled rock down to dirt, and making your way out to the outskirts proper, where there's constant new construction amidst what used to be farm fields, and you see the forest looming up ahead of you, and you can't help but wonder what awaits you within. And that is going to be where we stop today, because people got things to do.